What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. Today, I got some football. Today, we're going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith in particular, just because I think, with Geno Smith, he has a really good story, man, and I think he's going to possibly win Comeback Player of the Year. I believe he's already a candidate for that. Just seeing where, his story starts and just playing for the Jets and, this guy really rose from the ashes. I think if he was to drop a documentary in the future, man, I think it would be great for a lot of athletes that had a lot of downfalls in their career. And I think, he can inspire a lot of young kids, man. I think he can inspire a lot of people based off of his story. And just for his career to survive, man, this guy played for the Jets. This guy, his career was with the Jets. And I believe one season he threw 13 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Playing for that organization can kill your career, but just seeing how Geno Smith, how he rose above, a lot of his downfalls early in his career, it built him to who he is now. This guy is playing above expectations for the Seattle team. Him beating out Drew Lock, and just seeing what he's done this season. I think the big question is, what should Seattle do after this offseason? What is the numbers looking like, or should Seattle re-sign Geno Smith? I think that there's so many question marks. I think with Seattle front office coming up this offseason, one thing they have to touch upon is improving this defense. And I think the second question is Geno Smith. And just looking at what Geno Smith has done, like I said, he's rised above expectations. He led the league in NFL completion percentage at 70.7. He's ranked fourth in touchdown passes, and he's eighth in passing yards at 3,886 yards. So he's playing on the grid, and I believe earlier this season he was for a potential MVP candidate. But obviously, that kind of dumbed down a little bit just because of just looking at their record now. They kind of fell apart midway through the season. So, I get how he's out of that conversation. But overall, I think, what he's done for Seattle, I think, the expectations, he surpassed that. And I do think that Seattle should re-sign, Geno Smith. I do believe that he can be their franchise quarterback moving forward. This is a guy that's using DJ Metcalf. He's utilizing Tyler Lockett. He's a guy that seems like he knows this offense off the top of his head. He looks like a guy that, he plays off of preparation. And every time I hear this guy talks in his post conference, he always talks about his experience of how much what he's been through in the past, and he just brings all that experience, and it just gives him so much confidence. And like I mentioned before, all the struggles early in his career molded him to being the player he is today. But there are a lot of options for this Seattle team. Are they going to franchise tag him? That could be another option. Seattle could feel like, maybe he's not legit. Maybe we should give him another year before we give him big time money. There's all kinds of scenarios. So speaking about money, I would definitely drop this article for you guys, because I did see this article, and I'm seeing that, obviously this is anonymous, but, a GM is saying, there was a report saying that possibly Geno could make, $35 million per year next year. They can possibly sign Geno Smith to a 4-year contract. He can definitely get his money's worth. I'm definitely going to put this in the description for you. So there's a lot of options on what could happen with Geno Smith. But for me personally, I do think that Geno Smith should be this franchise quarterback moving forward. Definitely get some more pieces around him, and I think this could be a playoff team. But I think everyone in Seattle is liking what they're seeing with Walker at running back. Tyler Lockett, like I said, when he's healthy and DJ Metcalf is healthy, offensively they can do some damage. One of those two guys are going to get you a touchdown, and they are a big part of Geno Smith's success. These are really good talents, and looking at Noah Fant at tight end, that definitely helps out Geno a lot in the passing game. So with Seattle, I think the two biggest points that I mentioned before was, trying to figure out what can they do on defense and offering Geno Smith a contract or re-signing him. Those are going to be the two big factors for Seattle moving into the offseason. Like I mentioned before, guys, they can, Seattle can maybe squeeze into the playoffs. But I doubt it. I think Seattle needs to be thinking about the future and next season. And I think it starts with improving their defense and, re-signing Geno Smith. And I just think the big key point is what they want to actually do with him. Do they want to franchise tag him? Do they want to sign him to 4 years? There's a lot of scenarios, guys, but I definitely wanted to just make a video just to bring this up and just kind of put it out there because I think moving forward, that's going to be the biggest name in the offseason for Seattle is Geno Smith. And I know a lot of fans love him, and it's going to be a little war there, man. But I hope he gets his money. It's well-deserved. And like I mentioned before, I mean, this guy knows this offense off the top of his head. You know, this guy, he plays the game of football as a quarterback, as a student, you know, and just seeing, you can just tell he's learning every single game. You know, he's understanding defenses. He's reading his checkdowns to his receivers. You know, he's getting more and more comfortable with this offense. And Pete Carroll, I just think he's just thrilled of what he's seeing from Geno Smith. And I definitely just think he's just much fresher. I think the difference between Geno and Wilson is I just think Geno Smith, you know, he has more stature, you know, a lot more taller, and he's more fresh, you know, fresh legs, and I just think he's ready to just perform, and that's what he's been doing throughout this season. Now, you can argue about the record, but to me, I look at the defense, man. I don't think the defense played. I don't think it helped Geno out too much this season. But I want to hear your guys' opinion, guys, especially for you Seattle fans. I mean, how do you guys feel about Geno Smith? Do you think he can be your franchise quarterback? Do you want Seattle to franchise tag him? Do you think he's going to win, you know, comeback player of the year? I definitely want to hear your guys' comments, man. I definitely want to see some replies, and drop that comment down below, guys. Until next time, thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far into the video, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and I'm definitely going to do a lot more content and try to give you guys breaking news, and I'm just excited, guys. I'm ready for the playoffs. So until next time, guys, peace.